Academy of Personal Protection is back with us now, and more on what you should consider if you're thinking about buying a gun. That story Kim did was fascinating. So you are seeing a big increase in women coming to you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think that what we're seeing here is that just generally in society, people are taking more and more responsibility for their personal protection. I mean, personal security is a fundamental human need, but ultimately it's an individual responsibility. You know, we have a saying that's kind of the foundation of our company. I have a background in close protection, basically executive protection, bodyguarding, and you know, the saying comes from back then, which is basically, I think that it's good to have a lifeguard, but fundamentally you should know how to swim. So, you know, our training is all centered around this idea of being able to teach people and take the same concepts and strategies that we would use as close protection people and provide them for individuals to protect their families.
So if someone's watching that story and going, wow, maybe I should get a gun, what should you consider about whether to get one or whether not to get one?
Well, the first thing is, I mean, you know, I really do believe that you should seek training before buying. You know, you don't go out and buy a car and then learn how to drive.
Good point.
So, and very often, even just from a practical standpoint, you don't even know what to get, you know, what's going to suit your needs until you actually get out there and start field testing some things and actually learning how to shoot and see what works for you. And, you know, the idea is that it's very important to understand what is the focus. You know, is it going to be something that you're going to carry? Is it for home defense only? Sometimes those things carry over, sometimes they don't. But about the last thing you want to do is just go and ask your friend or your neighbor, or go walking into a gun store and saying, hey, I want to buy a gun. Because, you know, very often the people who are going to be recommending you certain things don't have a real basis for that recommendation. You know, the best advice I can give is seek training first, do it with an organization that does it full-time, professionally, you know, and basically understand what you're getting into before you even buy that gun, because there's an intense liability and responsibility that comes with it.
And so some of that is, if you have a gun, keeping it safe in the house, because the worst thing you want is for an accident to happen. So what do you recommend with that?
Well, obviously, you know, just like we talked about earlier, Christine, you know, your first rule is to deny opportunity, okay? You want to make sure that things can't go wrong in the first place. So doing simple things like having a safe, okay? I'm not talking about a big, you know, giant wall safe that, you know, or some kind of giant gun safe. You know, they make small handgun safes, and they make them that are biometric, for example, where you can use your fingerprint to access them. But, you know, keeping a firearm, for example, even if it's something that you want to have ready access to for personal defense, having it locked up is a critical facet. You don't have it under your pillow, and you don't have it in a nightstand next to your bed. You know, anyone could get a hold of it. You know, and again, circling back to this training issue, the most important dynamic is training, because, you know, just owning a gun does not mean that you can protect yourself with it. You have to understand how to use that tool.
And in your training, you teach both actually how to use a gun and more?
Absolutely. I mean, INPAX is founded on this idea of providing full spectrum personal protection training. So we not only do self-defense training, but we also do defensive firearm training. We also do critical incident response training. So what do you do in the event of an active shooter, for example? And we do it not just for individuals and families, but also corporations and schools. That's one of our big focuses. And the thing is that when you have a holistic approach to personal protection, when you know how to protect yourself with the firearm as a tool or without, you have a broad range of opportunities and options.
Great
That's
advice,
the goal.
Sam. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you again, Christine.
And Sam Rosenberg, president of INPAX Academy of Personal Training. And you can find out more about INPAX on the website. We've got the link at KDKA.com/PTL. Still to come, the latest